What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, and I'm back with another installment of Dangerous Minds. Today, we got a special episode. I got one of the premier, front runners that's been helping putting together platforms, making sure that independent artists from the North Carolina area are showcased, and making sure they have a platform to showcase their talents. This lady's behind that. Michelle from the Artist Corner. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you on. Like you had me on the show, had me on your platform a few months ago when my album came out. I really
Mhm.
appreciated that. Uh,
No
you know,
problem.
yeah, like I saw, I'm glad I was able to get you on the show, kind of return the favor.
Yeah.
So, how's everything been? How was the Artist Corner affected, during COVID and things like that?
That's interesting. It was affected in a way that forced me to adjust. Because I, in trying to build up the artist corner, I
Hmm.
was going out to artists and doing interviews face to face. Just because I preferred that
Hmm.
interaction and getting to know the artist that way. It felt more genuine face to face. But
Hmm.
with COVID, there had to be a lot of adjustments. So I was no longer going down and doing videos. I was actually in the middle of starting a new segment where we had artists in the park performing their songs, and we only got
Oh
one
wow.
done before COVID came through and shut everything down. So it's definitely been an adjustment to having to do everything online, and especially with me having to relinquish control of the aesthetic of how everything looks. So it's been a journey, but it's one that has forced me to grow. So I definitely appreciate what I've learned.
Oh, nice. Like I know you said you had to adjust. So what were some of the things you guys had to put together to kind of adjust and make sure that things kept going?
Um, Basically just figuring out a way to continue connecting with artists without being face to face. On
Hmm.
one end, it saved money with gas because I was driving all over North Carolina, visiting like one artist at a time, trying to get to know them and do the interview. But that's also because I'm kind of a perfectionist and like
Hmm.
a certain aesthetic. So as a person who does video production and photography, I wanted it to have a certain professional and polished look.
Hmm.
And then online, there's so many variables. Not everyone knows how to set up their lighting or camera and stuff. So that was one thing I had to let go control over. And
Hmm.
so that was the biggest lesson. It's just trusting the process and trusting that people still just want to get to know these artists. Everything doesn't have to be as polished as I may want it to be.
I've noticed that too. I had to adjust. Like before COVID, I didn't do this show like this. I did
Mm,
everything from my home wherever I was living at the time. So because we couldn't be together, I realized that Zoom actually kind of made it better
yeah.
because I had people cancel on me because things come up and they can't make the trip, or I can't get to them because of whatever reason. So just being able to pull up Zoom and press record, and people can kind of jump on from the comfort of their home. It seemed to make it a lot more convenient. Uh, do you think that some of the elements you guys incorporated would stay with the Artist Corner, or like now that things are kind of opening back up, or you think you're kind of going back to the way things were originally?
I think it's going to be a mixture of both because, like you said, it definitely made it more convenient because I had times where I drove out an hour or two away to meet an artist and they,
Mm-hmm.
canceled at the last minute. And that's 4 hours of my day
Uh,
gone where I could have been getting some more work done.
mm-hmm.
So, like, doing Zoom definitely made it way more convenient. And then it also opened up the possibilities. So, I think this year was the first time that I interviewed an artist outside of North Carolina, and so
Okay.
it opened up the possibilities to bringing more artists on that are independent and just shining a light on those artists as well.
Oh, 'cause that was one thing I was gonna say. I know the Artist Corner is North Carolina based, but is it something that you're looking to expand at some point outside of North Carolina, maybe taking it even globally at some point?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm looking to expand outside of North Carolina. But with
Hmm.
North Carolina being home, it's just a place that I wanted to start first. Because I think North Carolina gets a lot of slack when it comes to music, and we have some amazing artists. Some of the best artists come out of North Carolina. They just move elsewhere to boost their career.
Yeah.
And then you have a few who may come back home and, still call it home and still maintain a good career. But there's so many artists here that are like undiscovered, you don't know about, that are amazing and can
Hmm.
go toe to toe with your favorite artist that's known. They just need that audience. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to do with the Artist Corner, is just create a platform to help boost that artist and give them an audience.
You know, and an artist like myself, I definitely appreciated it because when I was trying to look for interviews and just different ways of trying to, you know, kind of tell my story and kind of reach out to people, there's not a lot of platforms for
Mhm.
independent artists, and the ones that are here aren't as dedicated. Like I could tell from the Artist Corner, you guys are like very passionate about what you guys do. Like you really want to put a light on artists. You don't want to beat them over the head with you know, charging them crazy numbers and things like that, which a lot of artists, especially up and coming, don't have the resources. So what was like kind of like the main goal, like when the beginning when you were putting together the Artist Corner, what was kind of like the thing that sparked that led you to this?
This was actually something I started a few years ago with the interviewing a few artists, King M. Dot, um, guys, just KP, and then I
Mhm.
did a few gospel artists, Mr. Goldsmith, and some other ones. So it started a few years ago with me just being interested in shining a light on those artists from North Carolina who
Mhm.
weren't getting seen. I had the means and the video equipment, audio equipment. So I was like, I'm interested in their journey, so why not put it out? But I am very much an introvert. And so that also set the groundwork for when I revived the idea of the Artist Corner and started going after artists. That was actually one of the reasons, because I don't really like huge crowds. And that's just an introvert in me. And I don't like a
Mhm.
lot of energy at one time because it can get to be overwhelming. So it was easier for me to start connecting with artists one on one, and then just continue to grow it out that way. So obviously, this has forced me to get out of my shell a bit. I can't be that introverted and trying to do the work that I'm doing. So yeah, that's pretty much how it started and like how it's going. My mission now, because I didn't really have a mission when I first started it out,
Mhm.
but now my mission is to create something like a shared income where, like you said, artists don't necessarily have the money to get all of the content they need to promote themselves. So
Mhm.
the purpose of the Artist Corner is to bring multiple artists together and have them share and split the cost of video production and creating
Ah,
content.
that's dope.
So that way you can get a month's worth of content creation for what it may cost to do one music video. So it's
Mm.
just trying to find ways for artists to help save money but still put out professional and usable content.
Wow, that's a dope idea. And like this idea of like community, you know, like
Yes.
artists coming together. Cause it one of the things I think that affects you know, independent artists in North Carolina versus a lot of other regions like, you know, Atlanta or New York or, you know, even LA, is that you hear stories about people kind of coming together and trying to make things happen for themselves, even if, you know, especially in the beginning of hip hop where artists were not taken seriously by the music industry. Like rappers were not, you know, so they had to come together to, you know, kind of create that buzz for themselves. So it's kind of like that loss of community. So bringing the community back, like the idea of community back to the music scene is like a really dope thing. Um, so
Thank you.
in your like what I know you mentioned before with you know, artists canceling on you at the last second when you were trying to reach out to them and you know, do interviews. Like what would you say would be like the worst experience you had with an artist? You don't have to call them out or anything, but like what would be
Mm.
like the worst experience you would say so far that you've had with trying to work with an artist?
So far it hasn't been too bad. The worst experience would be driving 2 hours to meet someone after having reminded them and it was not an emergency that they did not show up to their own session.
Hmm.
Um, so that would be the worst, just because I'm putting in that effort, and
Hmm.
like it's just me at this point. It's pretty much just me
Yeah.
doing all of these things. So the video production, the audio, um, the first studio vibes, the first group of studio vibes I did, that was something else that got cut off by COVID. So
Hmm.
we only got through three of them. I ended up having to do all of that by myself. So doing the sound and audio because they performed live, doing the video interviews. I had a friend of mine come out and help a little bit, but she couldn't stay long. So shout out to Ash of Crash Marketing. She came out and helped me out some as much as she could, but the rest of that was by myself. So there's a lot of effort that I put into, and there's a lot of money that goes into making this thing run. So that's the thing that's the most aggravating and annoying. It's just people not respecting the time, and that I'm providing a service that's free that I make money doing in my
Hmm.
job as a video production, as a video producer and photographer. Like I make money doing this, but the artist corner is my passion project and I'm putting time and effort into it. So at the
Hmm.
very least, if it's not an emergency, emergencies I understand, show up and put that little bit in because it's not going to be free forever. But I
Hmm.
wanted to lay the groundwork to show that I'm fully invested with investing in artists and help artists reinvest in themselves.
Yo, so all them artists, that's a message for y'all. If Michelle from the Artist Corner hit y'all up, make sure just put in the effort to be on time, show up, because she's putting a lot of work in for you guys. And it's, especially, coming across this as a platform. Like, I wish I would have met you guys, like, or I met you since you say you're doing it, basically yourself. Like, wish I met you like early in my career because I've spent thousands of dollars on marketing and trying to put together a music video and it still doesn't come out the way it's supposed to be, or
Yeah,
it's like it's because I definitely get that frustration sometimes, but you know nevertheless we definitely appreciate you, like I can say that. So
thank you.
it's
And I definitely want to shout out of like maybe the 50 or 75 videos I've done, it's only been
Mhm.
like two people. Everybody
Oh, okay,
else
good.
showed up. So it's not like it's a huge amount of people.
Hmm.
That just lets me know who not to work with. So moving forward, it's just like if opportunities come, I'm going to say, well, here's this artist because this artist was actually, committed to what they're doing. So that just,
Hmm.
for artists, don't throw anybody to the side because you don't know who their connections are
Right.
and you don't know who they're working with, and you're going to miss an opportunity just because you didn't show up for something. So don't miss out on that
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, because like that person that you toss to the side could be the later down the line could be the one opening the door for you, or it could have
Yeah,
been the one opening the door for you for your big break. So you just never know. Like,
yeah.
so I would say, what would you say would have been like the best experience you've had? Kind of like that really, like maybe it might have been like a moment where kind of solidified, like, okay, I'm in the right direction with, putting my blood, sweat, and tears into Artist Corner and making sure that that is a success.
Um, so the brightest moment has really just been interacting with the different artists and getting to hear their views and ideas and what they
Hmm.
need and are looking for. But I guess if there's a moment to kind of solidify that I'm going in the right direction, it
Hmm.
will be, I guess it's been 2 years now. I did my first event for the Artist Corner at the National Black Theater Festival, which is held in Winston-Salem. Um, and it's something that happens biannually. It's a big
Hmm.
deal with different people coming out, and we were able to host a 2-day panel discussion with myself and some other people from the industry, just giving out free
Oh,
knowledge and
dope.
free information. And so that was amazing because each of the people that came actually got something from it. They were able to boost their careers from it. They were able to move forward in different ways. And that was definitely special and made it worthwhile for me to be like, okay, this is happening. Like I was able to pull in these people who, a few of them who are in the industry and get them to share some free knowledge. So for those who were there, they got a host of knowledge for free that they could take with them. And then they also made connections. So that was just kind of my big moment of, okay, I'm probably heading in the right direction because that's all I want to do is help people win.
Wow, that is dope. And like, so you say it's a annual event. Like, when is it usually around? Like, what time of the year?
So the Black Theater Festival happens, I think they're missing it this year. Usually happens in August. I think it's the end of August,
Okay.
September. So it's like a 2 week thing, and it's usually centered around plays. And then they have a lot of entertainment industry people come in, entertainers come in, and they'll do their own individual sessions. And
Hmm.
so it was nice to be amongst that group of entertainers also, and having the little old artist corner, this organization that I just started up, be amongst them and have a nice turnout. That was a good feeling.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, that sounds really dope too. I had never heard of it, but I definitely want to check that out with if they have it this year, like, or if they bring it
Yeah.
back next year. I definitely like to come out.
Definitely.
So, just being as like a woman in the music industry, I always kind of try to ask this question just because, you I know from the stories I've heard, it's just really rough for like women trying to interact with these artists and just being, a fixture in the entertainment industry. So, what would you say like has been your challenge as being a woman in this industry?
Um, I can say I have not faced any challenges
Oh, that's
as a
nice.
woman in the industry, and that's probably not the norm. But
Mm.
I have some predecessors who are all men in the industry. So I have some
Okay.
nice bodyguards who probably protect me from more than I realize that they protect me from. But because they're older, because they've been in it in the business longer, I have these like 5 set of men that I could go to if I needed to for advice on the industry or what's happening, or if I need to make a connection. That's something that's helped me and also probably protected me from what could be happening in the industry as a woman. So far I haven't had any pushback or anything.
Well, that's actually great to hear. Like, just
Yeah.
because, you know, and it's a times where it could people are trying to change the
Hmm.
perspective or the experiences for women just trying to make a headway. So it's nice to hear that something like you don't have any like crazy horror story or anything like that, and it's good to have people that just have your back and
Yeah.
that can kind of keep you away from that kind of stuff. I know you have the memberships coming out soon for the Artist Corner, kind of taking it back to that sense of community. Tell me a little bit more about that and how you're going to be rolling that out in the future.
Yeah, so the memberships are definitely a component that I'm working on through the Artist Corner, because I'm definitely big on creating that creative ecosystem where artists are coming together to pool their money together to help each themselves and each other out. So that creates the community, that creates networking, and it saves on costs for artists trying to get things done as far as studio time, studio vibes as it grows, and through a membership that's going to be something where artists may have one song they need to record and they need it professionally done. Well, you
Mhm.
can come in and you can get that studio time to record your song, and you'll also have a recorded video that'll be put out on our series. So it creates different levels of content, and you're going to make money, additional money, because you're saving money on your studio time and a
Mhm.
video that you're getting together because everyone's coming together. It's like 4 artists maybe at a time. So you all are splitting that time, which saves money. So that's the goal of the membership, is to to um, make it available for artists to create content at an affordable rate, as well as creating that community of support. So the people you work with and network with, those are your supporters. If everybody, shout out each person every time your album drop or you put something and we all share it, that's naturally going to grow your community.
Mhm.
So that's what the point of the membership is. Yes, it will cost, but it will be a nominal fee. And then also we'll have, perks. So for every time you spend money, you'll get cash back.
Mhm.
So there will be points earned that can go towards a service. So as you continue to spend money, you're continuing to earn different perks. So I'm trying to create a way that makes it affordable for all, but also makes sense. So that's what
Mhm.
we're in the process of doing now. But the biggest thing is creating content for artists and that creative ecosystem.
Oh, nice. Do you have an idea when that's supposed to be coming out? Because I feel like that'd be a great benefit to a lot of people.
Yes, I'm hoping to get everything finalized within the next 2 to 3 weeks and get it set up on the website www.theartistcorner.com. So
Mhm.
check it out, and hopefully we'll have the memberships set up there within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, yeah, this episode should be coming out sometime mid August, or it might already be be out by the time of this recording. So yeah, make sure y'all check out the Artist Corner. Www dot what is it?
And I think I said it
www.theartistcorner.com.
wrong. Theartistcornernc.com.
The Artist Corner NC. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I have that spelled correctly in the
Thank you.
bio and the video when we post this. But yo, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you and the work that you guys do. Well, you do since you're a one woman show.
Thank you.
So make sure. So it's the Artist Corner the Artist Corner NC. That's the Instagram page, right?
Correct.
And you guys on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Not on Twitter. We are on Facebook, the Artist Corner NC.
Okay. And the artistcornernc.com. Make sure y'all be on the lookout for all of the content you guys are going to be rolling out, the studio vibes, the interviews, and make sure that y'all take advantage of those memberships when they roll out. And once again, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate you talking with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, but until next time, it's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, Dangerous Minds, Michelle from the Artist Corner. Till next time, much love.
Thank you.
I ever let these niggas think they competition. First they gon' step up, now they running, crying, playing victim. They made me get apocalyptic to be taken serious. So how many rappers I gotta kill to get my recognition? This time I'm coming vicious. No more Mr. Nice Guy, I'm coming with a vengeance. Cause I feel like you need to turn your back on me while I was grieving.